All right, I'm here with another Ixalan Draft. It's either Monday or Thursday. That means it's time for one of these drafts. This pack is not the strongest. I do like Daring Saboteur a decent amount. Probably what I'll take here. Marauding Looter is an okay one to speculate on, but Blue-Red's not an incredibly great color pair in this format. It's not bad, but it's nothing special. Legion's Judgment is a medium removal spell. Run Aground is nice, but I think Daring Saboteur is just better. The one problem is that, yeah, like the best cards in this pack after we take this are both blue, Run Aground and Lookout's Dispersal. But I think that's okay. We'll take this, and if blue seems open, we'll go for it, and if it doesn't, that's not a big deal either. So I like this card a lot because it's, you know, a 2-mana 2/1 that's relevant at all stages of the game. Ooh. Going from Daring Saboteur to Fathom Fleet Captain's pretty great. They're both pirates, and this is very strong. This pack's annoying, though, because it also has Ixalan's Blinding, Lightning Rig Crew, and those are both great cards. I do think Fathom Fleet Captain's better, though. This is obviously premium removal, and this is great. If we could wheel it, we would play it, but we're going to take the Fathom Fleet Captain. It's a great pirate payoff. It's very strong. I think it's first pickable in like 95% of packs in this format, too. Our opponent took another uncommon, which might have been like Charging Monstrosaur, which probably is better than Fathom Fleet Captain, but there aren't a lot that are. Ixalan's Binding's close, but I think Fathom Fleet Captain's still better, which has so much upside. Wow, we're getting rares, rares, rares. Unfortunately, we don't really want that one, so we won't be taking it. We could think about One with the Wind. It's obviously better in the Merfolk deck, but in the aggro pirates, it's pretty good. There's also a Direfleet Hoarder who's a pirate. So we can think about that, but I think maybe One with the Wind's just better here. Like, this aura has proved to be way stronger than I ever thought it would be. I normally hate auras, but this format is aggressive enough that One with the Wind is good. It's good in Pirates and Merfolk especially. And it's best in Merfolk, but it's good in Pirates. One with the Wind it is. Okay. Interesting. There's a Shaper Apprentice, which is a good Merfolk card, and it's not a bad one to take here. Sleek Schooner is also pretty good. Favorable Winds is a card. I want to build a deck with it at some point in Limited, but it hasn't happened. I think I'm just going to take the Apprentice. There's every chance, like once we do that we end up in Merfolk, because black doesn't seem very open, although to be fair, there's no green in this pack either. But it's a good 2-drop in any deck. It's obviously better in a Merfolk deck, but it's got a lot of... It's just solid in most decks. It can wield a Pirate's Cutlass, you know? That's what matters. Okay. Mark of the Vampire is not an aura I like nearly as much. The reason this is so good is it gives such a huge boost for so little mana. I don't like Prying Blade. I don't like Sword Point Diplomacy. Pillar of Origins, not so much. I think I'm just going to take Prosperous Pirates here. We could totally be blue-white, I guess, and take Legion's Judgment, but blue-white has, like, nothing going on. Like, it's the best deck for favorable wins, but I think I'll take the Prosperous Pirates. It's another pirate, which our Fathom Fleet Captain wants us to stock up on, and it helps us fix, so we will take it. It's nothing special, but it's fine. Okay, so this is the second Tempest Caller we've seen. I think I'm going to take this one. Drowned Catacomb wouldn't be bad, but again, black doesn't seem super open. Blue seems really open, but you know, we could take Skittering Heartstopper, but Tempest Caller I think is better. Okay, yeah, I'm not really sure what we should be doing here. The signals aren't super clear. Pirate's Prize is fine, but I think now I do take a Heartstopper. Depths of Desire and Run Aground are both good. I think Run Aground is a little bit better. It is better, so we're gonna take it. Another Run Aground, sure. So we could think about March of the Drowned, but right now we actually don't have that many pirates. So, you know, I don't know what we're going to end up doing. I mean, this is still good if you have 0 pirates, obviously. It's better if you have multiple pirates. And we already have 3, I guess. But I think Run Aground is going to be better in more decks we end up with. And a Depths of Desire, too. We're getting all the bounce spells. Blue is very, very open. So I think we can pivot into, like, any other color pair we want to, basically. Because blue is so open that we're getting really late Run Agrounds and Depths of Desires. Which are really only good. They're at their best anyway in aggressive decks, so that's what we want to be, ideally. And we have some pieces of that. The Saboteur and the Fathom Fleet Captain are good aggressive cards. Vapor Apprentice, too, to an extent. So we do have one other Merfolk already, so that's good news. But we could still easily end up in blue-green Merfolk, so that's worth keeping in mind. We will take another Heartstopper. I think it's a reasonable card. Being able to trade with stuff is good. I can even trade with freaking Jade Guardian, the bane of my existence. But One with the Wind is good on Jade Guardian, though, and if they do that, then you're screwed. How many flyers do we have right now? I think the answer is 0. I think we're still going to take favorable winds because the other 2 cards aren't very good. So, you know, take a cancel for a sideboard. I mean, we're probably not going to play favorable winds, but you never know. If we pick up all flyers the rest of the way, I would play it. It's not going to happen, but I would do it. One with the Wind gives a creature flying, and Shaper Apprentice can gain flying. So, interesting. So, another Ixalan's Binding kind of makes me want to try to go into blue-white and see what the hell happens when I finally do that. It is strong. So is Glorifier of Dusk. The green card, the black cards here, as you can see, don't exist really. We have Duress and Blightkeeper. The blue cards here, One with the Wind's fine, but Ixalan's Binding is way better, and I think I'm going to take the Binding. I think we're going to do it. See, I mean, we can also splash this. Well, now we get past a Ripjaw Raptor. So, and a Pirate's Cutlass. It's definitely the Raptor. Especially because it's not clear. I mean, this is good in most decks in this format. The more I've played this format, the more that card has gone up for me. But it's great in a pirate deck. And I'm not sure we are one. Black doesn't seem super open. Red didn't seem that open either. Blue is incredibly open. And green seemed reasonably open. I think we're just going to take the other best card in this pack, just like we did with Ixalan's Binding. Cutlass is close, but we're going to take the Raptor. Okay. What's going on here? I don't even know. Like, we took those 2 cards, which are fine, but this pack is less good. New Horizons is okay. I think I am just going to take a pirate here, though. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take a pirate, and we'll see if we can be black-blue after all. I mean, if we get a lot of black from this side this time, we'll be in good shape, and this pack's pretty weak. I mean, Fire Cannon Blast. We could take that now. It's the best card in this pack, for sure. But we can splash Ixalan's Binding with the treasure we have already. So I think I'm just going to take a pirate. Pirate. Oh, really? The things we're seeing in these packs, like I really want Vance's Blasting Cannons. It's incredibly strong. There's also a Water Trap Weaver, though. And I'm not convinced we're in red. I mean, we haven't taken any cards in red, so I'm definitely not convinced. It's another card we can splash without too much effort. Is that enough to make me want it? Or do I just go safe here and take a card in a color that I know is open? That's a very good card. Power. Vance's Blasting Cannons is so good. I'm going to take the Blasting Cannons. Sorry, Water Trap Weaver. Okay. So I think we just take another pirate. There's a March of the Drowned, which is getting better, but I feel like we'll be able to get one without too much effort. Those usually come around for those who want them. So do we want Siren's Ruse? We have several pirates, and we also have a Tempest Caller. And it's good with Tempest Caller. It's good with Enter the Battlefield abilities in general. So yeah, I don't know which of these I'm splashing, but it doesn't look like Ripjaw Raptor is going to happen. So we could take another run of ground, but I think we probably do just take Siren's Ruse. Yeah. If we get a Water Trap Weaver, it gets to be better. Dowsing Dagger is a pretty good piece of equipment. It's better if you have a bunch of flyers, which we don't, but I do like it. It's also an artifact. We don't have any pirates that care about that yet, but there are some. March of the Drowned, Prosperous Pirates are both fine, but I think I'm going to take the dagger here. Another favorable wins. Why can't we make that work? Deadeye Tormentor it is. So we're getting there in Pirates now. Black is flowing a lot better from this side than it did from the other side. You take a mediocre Merfolk or a card that's kind of worth splashing that happens to be a Pirate, or a Duress for a sideboard. I think I'll probably take the Duress. Cancel for the sideboard, I guess. Spell Pierce? We don't have a land destruction spell. I'll side it in. No, I won't. Okay, so we definitely got a lot of black there, which made our deck a lot better. We're splashing one of these. Probably not both. I mean, we don't have enough ways of making treasure, really. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So right now we can really only splash one of them. I'll take another Heartstopper. Sure. So now I really want a Pirate's Cutlass, which we passed up in that pack. But that would make our deck far better than it is now. It's fine right now, but it's nothing special. We have lots of aggressive creatures and bounce spells, which is a good combination in this format. And this is like premium removal, but this is the kind of card that can just win you the game because it draws you so many cards, basically. I'll probably take Skymarch Bloodletter. We're not a River Sneak deck. Depths of Desire is nice, but we've got plenty of bounce at this point. What's the best card in this pack? Probably Territorial Hammerskull, but that's not for us. We're going to take the Bloodletter. Come on. There we go. I was going to say, come on, Pirate's Cutlass. But there's a freaking Air Elemental and a freaking Wanted Scoundrels. Oh, man. I think Air Elemental is just better than Pirate's Cutlass. I think I would take the Cutlass over the Scoundrels, but Air Elemental is just so good. This is frustrating. It's too much of a good thing, really, is what we like. There's too much good stuff in the good packs, because like I really want Pirate's Cutlass for this deck, and maybe I should just take it. Our deck has a bunch of 2-drop Pirates. Oh, hell, we're going to do it. Air Elemental's great, and I think normally I would take it, but I really wanted this Cutlass. Okay, Deadeye Quartermaster seems good in our deck. We have 2 equipment that it can grab. I like Chart of Course, okay. Another Bloodletter doesn't hurt. Direfleet Hoarder. Maybe I'll just take another Bloodletter. Not a pirate, by the way, but yeah, I'll take the Quartermaster, though. I think being able to grab those 2 equipment is worth it. And it's a pirate. So at this point, I think I would go with Binding because we just don't have that much removal. Siren's Ruse will we'll work with Deadeye Quartermaster too. We can find both of our equipment with it. Settle the Wreckage is nice. Headstrong Brood is nice if that's the pirate deck we were in. So do we want a Schooner or March of the Drowned? That's a good question. Bellowing Aegisaur, we could splash it. I've done it before, but yeah, I don't think that's what we want here. So we have a bunch of creatures, you know, who can easily crew Sleek Schooner, but Sleek Schooner is honestly nothing special. But I'm gonna see another March of the Drowned. I keep saying that and passing them, but I know we will. Ooh, Deadeye Tracker is a good pirate for us. I'm down with that. Fathom Fleet Cutthroat's not that good, and I don't like Queen's Agent either. So yeah, we definitely take Deadeye Tracker. Another Daring Saboteur. Yes, please. We have Shipwreck Looter. We also have Direfleet Captain, but he's not really worth splashing, unfortunately. Stormfleet Arsonist might be, but I think Saboteur is just better than they all are. I may like that card more than most people, but a 2-mana 2/1 that's great in the late game and in the early game. I mean, it can give itself unblockable. It can loot for you. It just does so much work that I have a hard time saying no to it. So we have 3 things now that the Quartermaster can search for, so it's definitely good. Like, the chances that we draw all 3 of those before we play a Quartermaster are not great. Okay, so this pack is giving us We definitely don't want this. Occasionally, you can end up with a treasure heavy enough deck that, and sometimes this color pair would be treasure heavy enough that you'd be like, yeah, sure. But it's not. This one's not. We don't have that much treasure. I like Chart a Course a lot. We have a lot of aggressive creatures that'll let us draw off of it, extra off of it. I think it's probably just better than March of the Drowned. It's close, but we may not end up with a March of the Drowned at this rate. So Pirate's Prize is kind of meh. I don't like Cobbled Wings. Opt is fine, but I mean, I guess I'm going to take Pirate's Prize. I don't think I'll play it. I don't think I was going to play Opt either, though. I will probably play another Depths of Desire. Helps us splash, some fixing. This really isn't worth it, but I'll take a Raider's Wake. Oh, foil New Horizons. Headwater Sentries. I could probably get away without playing a single Plains now. We have 2 Hoarders, 2 Depths of Desires. Maybe not, actually. I don't think I want Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. I don't think I want Pirate's Prize. Our deck turned out pretty good. We ended up with a bunch of rare pirates, which is good, and that really helps this deck come together. This is definitely our best, but we'll look at it. We got to make some cuts. I'll probably be losing a Heartstopper or 2. I don't think we really want to cut very many pirates. We didn't end up with a lot of ways to abuse Siren's Ruse, but we ended up, you know, we have some pirates and we have a Tempest Caller, and that's enough for me. And the Quartermaster, it'll basically draw us 2 cards if we use it on the Quartermaster, because we'll get one of these. And all 3 of these are pretty strong cards to draw. So we'll get one of those, and yeah. And we did end up with 1 Cutlass at least. I would have liked more, but what are you going to do? Okay, so group creatures separately. So we have 15 creatures. I don't really feel like we want to cut any of them. Well, maybe we do. If we do, though, we probably need to lose, like, One with the Wind. If you don't have a ton of creatures, One with the Wind gets to be a lot worse. Yeah, I mean, we probably cut a Heartstopper, which puts us at 14, and One with the Wind, and we can probably manage with 16 lands. I mean, One with the Wind is ridiculous, like with Fathom Fleet Captain and Daring Saboteur as well. So it's tempting, but it is the like swingiest card in our deck. It's the kind of card where if you play it and your opponent can't deal with it, you'll win, which is nice. But it's sort of like a 50-50 card. It is just like, you know, I'll win if you don't do anything about it, and I'll lose if you do something about it. And these other spells, I mean, we could think about cutting Siren's Ruse instead, I think. That's sort of on the chopping block. I think we want all these bounce spells because we just want to be like curving out, bouncing your big guy, smashing, and that's going to be our game plan with this deck. And we definitely want Ixalan's Binding. So, and I don't think we really want to lose. We definitely don't want to lose Pirate's Cutlass or Dowsing Dagger. Sleek Schooner is probably a little closer to getting cut. Yeah. We didn't end up with a March of the Drowned, by the way, but Chart a Course, I think, is just better. We passed a lot of marches, and I don't know. One of those probably would have gotten cut, honestly, from this deck. In the end, how many pirates did we end up with, by the way? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we could think about cutting Shaper Apprentice instead. We only have 1 other Merfolk. So I think I'd actually put back in the Heartstopper now and take that out. Because I want to keep, I think we want to be at 14 creatures. Yeah. I forgot we had that in there. I think this is going to be better. It's okay. So back to counting pirates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, that's plenty. That is plenty of pirates. Okay. And 4 of them are rare, which is nice. We got a lot of rare pirates. So yeah, we want to cut one of these. We're still thinking about that. They're both sort of like kinds of cards that can just end up stuck in your hand. Like if your opponent has a bunch of cards in their hand and you don't have to play this to have any hope of winning, you're just not going to play it for a while because not if they have mana untapped and cards in their hand. And this is only good in certain scenarios, like if you have Tempest Caller or Deadeye Quartermaster in play, or we have they're using removal on our guys. So basically, one of these is good against removal, and one of them is bad. With 14 creatures, I think it's a little scary to run one with the wind. You know, putting it on a Heartstopper isn't gonna impress anybody. It's hard though. Normally, this would be absolutely what I would cut, but it's really proven to be quite strong in this format. Yeah, which of you do I cut? Do I flip a coin? I don't know. I think in the end, I'm going to cut one with the wind. I can see going either way. Let me know what you would have cut in the comments. But this deck looks pretty good. It looks like a solid pirate deck. We ended up with basically, this is probably the best pirate payoff in the set. And then Pirate's Cutlass is obviously great. And we have some nice things going on. Bouncing and attacking our opponent. And you don't cost 5, so I'm not sure what you're doing there. We have to like make our mana base. Oh yeah, let me check to see if we have enough treasure. I'm fairly sure we do. That we don't need to be worrying about running into actual planes. We have 2 Depths of Desires. Is that it, really? Oh, 2 Dire Fleet Hoarders. Yeah, that's enough. We're not going to run any actual planes. That's one of the nice things about treasures is it doesn't make you dilute your mana base if you're just splashing 1 card off of them, because you can just run 8/8 and not even run a single basic land of the color you're splashing if you have 5 or 6 cards that make treasures. And I've found that to be pretty good. And normally when you splash in other colors, including in green, you frequently have to be running one land because it's just not, you're not consistently going to be able to produce enough of the colored mana for it to be able to cast it. But we can do it here, I think. All right, this is the deck, and I'll see you guys in the first match. All right, the first match of an Ixalan Draft. I actually ended up putting one with the wind back in after I thought about it some more and taking out Siren's Ruse. This is a pretty good hand. It's not going to be hard to draw 2 cards with Chart a Course on turn 2, that's for sure. You can play the Schooner on turn 3 without very much effort as well. And yeah, we have Prosperous Pirates too if, you know, we need to be getting our white or whatever. So yeah, it's a pretty solid hand. I will play the Heartstopper first, obviously. We'll definitely be charting a course on turn 2. There's like no way our opponent... I mean, I guess maybe they play... Is there anything big enough that they can play on turn 1 that can just block Skittering Heartstopper and trade? I don't really think there is. I guess another Skittering Heartstopper, but that wouldn't trade because they would have their mana tapped. So, yeah, that is what they're playing. I mean, if he tried to block with his Heartstopper, I would definitely just give mine Death Touch instead of drawing a card this turn. That would probably just be better. So we'll attack. Do the 1 damage, and Magic Online's being even laggier than usual here, but yeah, we'll cast Chart a Course, draw 2 cards. They're all lands, which isn't really what I wanted, but it's okay. We are set for lands, that's for sure. One of our sweet 2-drop pirates would have been nice. We go to 19. They probably have a 2-drop unlike us. Oh, they have the same freaking 2-drop we do. Interesting. I think now I play the Heartstopper. I can actually just double block this and give them both Death Touch. If my opponent has a trick, things could get ugly, but... no, I can't actually give them both Death Touch. Because I have an island. Yeah. Well, never mind. Yeah. We'll probably draw a third Skittering Heartstopper next. Opponent is red-black pirates, so they're not exactly the same as we are. So far, they could have been. Playing the Schooner probably would have been better because I could have played it and crewed it next turn with the new Skittering Heartstopper, but what are you going to do? So I could still double block him, and he can only kill one of them if he doesn't have a trick. He's probably got a trick. It's not worth it. Opponent is probably playing a pirate now, unfortunately for us. Yep, a Headstrong Brute it is. So double menace here now is not good news for us. Neither is that additional land. I'm going to play the Schooner, though. So chances are opponent's just going to attack with the Brute now and pay 2 to make another creature with menace. It's almost like Pack Rat, the way this thing can work, because it doesn't even have to rumble at all. It can just, I mean, it's not as good as Pack Rat, obviously, but it reminds me of Pack Rat once you have a pirate in play that can attack without very much effort. And they get the creature has menace, so that's less than ideal for us. We need some removal. Some not lands, actually, would be ideal. But we'll see. Anything that's not a land would be pretty nice at this point. The opponent is thinking. If you have tricks to back these guys up, it's pretty disgusting. Like, you just cannot set up profitable blocks that easily in this format. That's one thing that blue-black just doesn't have is combat tricks, basically. There's dive down, but it's not really a combat trick. So opponent's probably going to make a dude. So, do I try to double block the Fathom Fleet Firebrand? My opponent could have Sure Strike, Lightning Strike, Mini Strikes. I think I'm going to try to double block him. I don't think we can just like let this keep happening. Let's make him play a trick, I guess. It's definitely going to suck. Maybe next game we'll play ours on turn 2 and just have all the bounce in the world to back him up with some other pirates. The only good news is like there are less things he could do to wreck me after he pays this cost to make a pirate. There's still plenty he could do, but there's less. So we'll have to see. Well, it looks like that's actually going to happen. Works for me. Now we just have to deal with 2 pirates with menace. Yep, Fathom Fleet Firebrand. I am glad we dealt with that. I didn't think it was going to be so easy. Not a land, please. Okay. Well, it's a Dire Fleet Hoarder. I can actually play it and Prosperous Pirates. The question is whether or not I want to do that. We may want white mana at some point, but I guess the Hoarder can make white mana if that's what we need. All right, let's try to stabilize here. I think I believe in us. Now that we got rid of that problem. So yeah, we're just going to cash these treasures in right away. We're going to play Dire Fleet Hoarder. And you know, I think I'm actually going to crew. Do I crew an attack? I think we do. All right, Magic Online, I believe in you. So we are in trouble if our opponent has a removal spell because this 5 will be unblockable, but it's not like we could block it very effectively anyway with us tapped completely out. So, all right, we drop them to 15. So what would I do? Oh, now it doesn't matter. That's gonna hurt. That's really gonna hurt. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. We can block and kill the Fathom Fleet Firebrand, which is probably what we do, and just take the rest. I mean, we can't block either of the menace creatures anymore anyway. Opponent is very aggressive running Hijack, but that black-red Pirates is a very aggressive deck. Ooh. Now I think we're just dead. 3, 6, 7, 10, 12. We're actually not quite dead. But it's going to set us up to be pretty dead. We go to 2. He could easily have some way to do the last damage. And unless I draw a creature here or something, that's actually a pretty good one. Since it also happens to gain us a little bit of life. Is it enough, though? We go up to 3. So our opponent, you know, we've got to double block this because it does 3. Yeah, 3 still gets through, though, because we double block this, we single block that, and we take 3 exactly. So, yeah, it's not quite enough. Not quite enough. Yeah, just that Fathom Fleet Captain swinging once successfully was enough of a problem. And, you know, he did an effective job bluffing because I was like, he's got to have a trick. No, didn't look like he did. Yeah, I hope one of our rare pirates shows up this time. Yeah, like I said, I put one with the wind in the end, and I think that's still a good plan. That would have been pretty good in that game. So, yeah. We would like to play first. We would not like to keep this hand, though. We do have our 1-drop, and we have one with the wind, so... And Cutlass, so if we just drew all lands, this hand would be really crazy, but there's really no guaranteeing that. We would need to draw 2 lands in a row, and we're not even on the draw, so we're going to mulligan. Okay, this is all right. It's not great, but it's all right. I mean, turn 2 Chart a Course where we have to discard a card isn't the worst. Do we just take this swamp? I think we do. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely not having a fast start at all. Despite the huge stack of 2-drops we've had, we've struggled playing creatures early. I mean, we do only have 14, but I still feel like, you know, we should be having 2-drops a little more regularly than we have in our opening hand. But that last hand would have been, again, would have been great, but... so yeah, we have a land, extra land we can discard if that's what we want to do, but we're just going to Chart a Course. Yeah, and we'll discard an island. So we can play Deadeye Tormentor next turn, but we obviously don't have, we're not going to be raiding, unfortunately. So I don't know if I will. It'll depend on what my opponent does. If I can play the Tormentor and trade with like Fathom Fleet Firebrand, that's probably what I do. Doesn't look like they're doing anything. There's a Heartstopper that can at least set up Deadeye Tormentor next turn. Those guys have liked us, but where are our... We have 1 1-drop rare pirate and 3 2-drop rare pirates. That would be nice. And we had one of them in our hand and before we mulligan, but we only had 1 land in the hand, so it was not good. Okay, this looks like it's going to be pretty okay for us because we can attack with the Heartstopper and then make our opponent discard. I don't think playing Tempest Caller right here is worth it. Because this guy can't block anyway, so... of course, it'll probably have Menace soon, but... That's the other thing. In our first game, we really didn't see any of our interactive cards. Like, we have, I don't know, 5 or 6 bounce spells. And we just could not get them to save our lives. In fact, our opponent may have sided in... auras and stuff because they're like, oh, he doesn't have any way to interact. And it didn't seem like I did it? So if he did, hopefully we can hit an aura. We're definitely in better shape this game already than we were in the last one. But, you know, we can play these pirates next. We can probably keep putting pressure on our opponent. They're at least having to think about what to discard, which is always encouraging when you make your opponent discard a card. If they're just like, okay, I'll discard this land, it's like, oh man. They have 6 cards, though. You wouldn't think it would be that hard, but that might not actually be a good thing. If all 6 cards are things our opponent wants to keep in their hand, and if it's not like a no-brainer what you discard, I guess that could be a bad thing. But I'm going to look at it as a good thing. It means they'll be discarding something substantive, you know, not a... Well, they did discard a land, but maybe they really needed that land, and they have to hope they draw another one now. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. We will take 3. I'm going to be so happy if this pirate doesn't gain menace. Because our prosperous pirates can just block it. Ooh, double headstrong brute. Okay, alright. I see what you're doing here. There's tireless tracker, huh? So we could attack here. But they actually have a pretty good double block set up, these two guys. I think I'm going to play Prosperous Pirates. And then cash in one of these to play Deadeye Tracker. Opponent currently only has 1 card in their graveyard, but that's okay. I can give this Death Touch because I still have a treasure available, so that's nice. I guess this works actually kind of well with the tracker, since my opponent has to discard a card. They don't have 2 yet, so I can't start exploring, but we could get there. I really want to build a deck with, in limited anyway, and constructed would probably be fun too, with Deadeye Trackers and like Lurking Chupacabra. It'd be so good. The opponent is stuck on 3 lands, so that's why they were like, man, if I discard this land and I don't draw one. And I don't think they did draw one. So if I can set up... I mean, they can't block, so my opponent basically may as well swing with them. He's only gonna... Okay, swing with both. That makes sense. So I think I'm going to try to just double block one of them with these 2. The other one will lose Menace too, which is not a bad thing. If we succeed in killing our opponent's creature anyway. So if our opponent like kills the Heartstopper here, we're not in good shape. If they're smart, they'll wait for me to give it Death Touch, but I'm not going to give it Death Touch right now, so... Alright. We do kill him, and we lose our Heartstopper, which I think makes sense. He now has 2 cards in his graveyard, which is good for us as well. Fire Cannon Blast, okay. Ouchies. That's... Come on. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So, I think that lets us go aggressive here. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to leave my tracker back since I can use it to explore right now. Obviously, if my Prosperous Pirates were around, it would have been better to put that on, but they do have that Fire Cannon Blast. I think leaving him back as a blocker is worth, you know, not using the ability right away. Because if we draw a land, drew a land there, it wouldn't have mattered, you know. We're still going to get to look at the top card and decide whether or not we want to draw it if it's not a land. So I think it's worth it. So my opponent would have to attack again to use Fire Cannon Blast again to kill this Deadeye Tormentor, but, you know, that's not impossible. So we'll have to see. We definitely want to get rid of the pirate first because there is a card in this format that returns pirates from the graveyard, as we know. So, you know, sometimes it doesn't really matter what you exile, but against the pirate deck, you probably want to exile things. Okay, well, that's gonna hurt. 7 damage, yeah. I've never seen someone use hijack in this format, but our opponent's deck with all the menace in it is probably a good place for it. I mean, they're gonna do a ton to me here. That's for sure. So yeah, we take 7. We do get back our Tormentor, but our opponent kind of puts us in a place where we can't still be aggressive because he just hit us so hard. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of the Brute and Fire Cannon Blast. Sleek Schooner. I don't really think I need you or want you right now. Mostly because I need an actual creature. So I'm gonna get rid of the Schooner. Okay, that's gonna be good for us. Yeah, we're gonna play Deadeye Quartermaster. So which equipment do we want more? Probably the Cutlass. We can just stick it on this and go to town. We can't do it yet this turn, but yeah, I think we get the Cutlass. And I think we attack with the Tormentor. Yeah. If our opponent has another hijack, we're going to be like, really? Really? But it could happen, so we can use the Tracker's ability again at the end of our opponent's turn, and then it depends what they do. Their guy obviously can't block, so I mean, I'm just taking 3 here. Like, even if he has Lightning Strike, it wouldn't kill me, and then we kill him on our turn. So with the help of Cutlass, anyway, we do. So 4, 6, 8. Actually, it's not quite going to be lethal unless we succeed in exploring. And by succeed, I mean we hit a land. I mean, hit a not land. All right, I'm going to get rid of both of those. Okay, we did it, and I think we do want that. Yeah. All right, we got there in game 2. Our opponent got stuck on 3 lands after not wanting to discard their 4th land, which does suck for them, but things definitely went better for us there, and we still have not had a game where we can just be like, you know, turn 2 Fathom Fleet Captain would be incredible. Turn 1 Deadeye Tracker into Fathom Fleet Captain's like the dream. We did finally see some interaction there. All right, well, we're on the draw. I think this is keepable. The downside is we don't have any black mana, but the Saboteur can probably end up helping us draw. We're on the draw anyway. Like, even if we don't draw a swamp right away, we can give this unblockable on turn 3 and attack with it and loot. So that's not too bad. I would like a swamp, though. Especially a turn 1 swamp wouldn't hurt. We'll see if that happens for us. No. No, it does not. Nest Robber, huh? All right, we're going to take 2. Ugh. We've not had the best of luck in this first match. That is for sure. I mean, yeah, we just had mana problems. At least in the first and third game. I guess maybe we had a few in the second game. Obviously, we ended up winning, so I can't complain about that one too much. But our opponent definitely had worse mana problems in game 2, that's for sure. And yeah, I mean, I kept a hand with no swamps in it, but like, you know, drawing another black card isn't what I needed. All right, so we're going to take the 2 here. So yeah, worst case scenario, you know, and it could be worse, is that we're going to make Daring Saboteur unblockable and loot. But if our opponent plays like a 3/3 Headstrong Brute right here, which they have several of, that's not going to be good news for us damage-wise. Yep, there it is. Oh, God. That's not good. That's not good at all. We did not want to draw Ixalan's Binding there. Doing Ixalan's Binding on a Headstrong Brute would be so good against our opponent, too. All right, so we're going to draw an extra card here. Then we're going to go down to 11. So if we don't hit a swamp in our next two draw steps, we basically just lose. Well, not even draw steps. Drawing of any cards in any way. Of course, I'd like to use that ability. Ooh. All right. This isn't good. I think we're just going to... I feel like all three of these games were decided in large part by bad mana on one of our parts. Which is not a lot of fun. Okay, so we go to 11. Opponent probably plays another Headstrong Brute, which will have Menace. And I'm going to be so far behind by that point that trying to contend with a creature with Menace is pretty disgusting. So I'm hoping they play something less scary than a Headstrong Brute. Nope, that's pretty scary. There's our Swamp. I feel like it's a little too late, but I can equip Pirate's Cutlass for free, which will at least allow me to trade with one of these. And I can play the Heartstopper, which can trade with this. Yeah. Sure. Don't feel great about it, but that's the best we can do right this second. And our opponent is running out of gas, so if we can find a way to at least get rid of some stuff, we're going to be pretty happy. He may play a pirate and give this Menace, in which case things are going to be ugly. But if we can just, like, if I can just trade with this and take 6, that will sadly feel pretty good. So, yeah. All right, so it doesn't have Menace. I still think I probably want to block this and block this. Although, maybe Menace is worse. I think maybe it is worse. Because if he plays a pirate now, I'm just going to have so few creatures that I just can't stop the thing. But I don't have anything else that will trade with this anyway. So what's worse? It's all bad. So... I guess I'm going to do this and like pray I draw planes. My 1 planes. That's the dream. Okay, we go to 6. I wish you equipped free to things when I played them. That would make a big difference. Yeah, you do not want to stumble with mana in this format when you're playing against the more aggressive decks. That is for sure. And having all of these black cards and only 1 swamp in play is also not a good thing, just in case you didn't know. Bloodletter, great, great. Yeah, we go to 5. Okay, we did draw another swamp, which is something. So, Direfleet Hoarder. I can at least play Ixalan's Binding if... And yeah, we're going to play Deadeye Tormentor and get nothing out of it. So, like, yeah, I can at least play Ixalan's Binding. I'll probably double block this. Hope my opponent's out of gas. Go to 3, and then Ixalan's Binding his Bloodletter. That's basically our best route, given how this game has begun. But they're playing a Frenzied Raptor, which is not good. Trample. Okay, so we go to 1 now. And Ixalan's Binding won't do anything. Ugh. Well, still think it's our best plan here, unfortunately. These were not fun games. Even the one we won wasn't especially fun. So yeah, we go to 1. We get our treasure. great. Okay, so what can we draw anything that gets us out of this crazy situation? Definitely not that. Yeah, so we lose. We didn't really get to play much Magic in 1 and 3. Our opponents, between a very aggressive deck of our opponents and stumbling on mana, it was just pretty impossible to win either of those. So hopefully we do a little better in our other 2 matches. All right, we're going to the second match of an Ixalan Draft, and this is actually a very good hand. We have 2 of our rare pirates, which is good. That's something I complained about last time. We have turn 1 Deadeye Tracker and turn 2 Saboteur, which is pretty nice. Turn 1 Kamena's Speaker is less nice, but you know, it's going to be more of a problem. You know, we're not going to be able to have an amazing start since they managed to play 1-drop, but you know, Deadeye Tracker will probably do some stuff later in the game, sort of like Daring Saboteur will. In the later game, they'll probably be more useful than they're going to be right now. Going up against Merfolk isn't a great thing overall for our deck, I don't think. It's just not going to be particularly easy to interact with. They're just going to like kill us before we can do anything, but we can try. Yeah, River Sneak. They're speaking of not being able to interact. Okay. The question is, maybe I should just trade my Daring Saboteur for Kamena's Speaker. That's definitely something I'm thinking about doing. The problem is the existence of all of the combat tricks that, well, the main one being River Herald's Boon, will just destroy us if we try to stop our opponent with Daring Saboteur. So that's not so good. It might be better to wait until next turn when we can at least have mana up for Depths of Desire, and we can cast Depths, which will also give us mana for Ixalan's Binding, by the way. But we can cast the Depths in response if they have a trick, and if they don't have a trick, we get the trade. So I think at this turn, okay, they're not going to attack me even, which is good. If I were him, I would have, just because everyone knows River Herald's Boon is a possibility, and it's just not a good idea to walk into most of the time. So, but we're pretty happy that things went the way they did there. Okay. 0-3, they draw Forest. It would be great if they would put like One with the Wind or something like that on one of their creatures, and then we could really get there with Depths of Desire. Okay, so we have a Skittering Heartstopper now. Is that worth playing? Kind of leaning towards it's not being worth playing. I guess I should play it. It does mean I have a chance at taking damage from the Kamena's Speaker this turn, but I guess getting it out there is a good idea. We only have to leave up 1 black mana, and now River Herald's Boon isn't going to be nearly as good instead of having to leave up 3 mana. Because we can just block something, and if they want to use River Herald's Boon on, I mean, they just won't do it, obviously, because it would just die in combat. We could use a 4th land. Our opponent struggled there a little. Oh, God, that's exactly what you don't want to see against this deck. So our opponent has a very good chance of playing One with the Wind on this and just destroying us and just not being an interactive game at all. Like, that is a very real possibility. They did put the counter here and making, you know, yeah, that's good. But obviously One with the Wind would be better on Jade Guardian because this already can't be blocked, but... they do get in for more this turn, and they may not have One with the Wind at all. So, yeah. All right, we did draw a land, and that means... So I could play my Quartermaster and search up an equipment. That doesn't seem great here, though. I think leaving up mana for Depths of Desire is probably just going to be better. So I'm just going to end my turn here. But things are definitely not going well. The Merfolk deck is just so strong when it comes together, and our opponents... And, you know, one of the downsides about leagues on Magic Online is... Yeah, there's One with the Wind. Awesome. Oh, Hexproof. Why? Why Hexproof? One of the problems with leagues is people can end up with... You can end up playing against people with multiple insane decks. Like, that just wouldn't be possible otherwise. Okay, so... I think I Depths of Desire. I can actually exile One with the Wind, which is not the worst thing ever. So, I mean, I can't do it now, obviously, but I'm going to cast Depths of Desire on this and get plains, or a treasure that I can use as a plains. And then I will exile One with the Wind, which obviously isn't what I really want to be doing. But this is just going to kill us, and it'll kill us way, way faster than anything else our opponent has. So yeah, I think that's our plan here. Oh yeah, we don't need to tap all that actually. We're gonna get our planes. We're gonna play Ixalan's Binding, and we're gonna go after One with the Wind. Because these other creatures, you know, we can deal with them all relatively easily. And this we can deal with relatively easily too, now that we have it grounded. All right, let's see if we can get back in this thing. We still have the River Sneak to worry about, but it will kill us much slower. I hope they have another One with the Wind in their hand, is what I hope. It's entirely possible with this deck. This deck usually wants, you know, as many of them as it can take. And it's a common, so... Alright, River Sneak. Do you attack with anything? They might attack with their Dagger Tooth. And I think I probably just trade with it. Maybe not, though. Okay, they're going to attack with all of those things. When it's the Merfolk, I'm not so thrilled about it, but I think I still am going to block one of them with the Heartstopper. Alright, so we blocked with the Heartstopper. We're going to give it Death Touch. Get rid of the Jade Guardian. Take 2. Hey, there's our One with the Wind. Kind of don't feel like I have the time to play it. I feel like I need to play the Quartermaster here, so I at least have another creature who can block effectively. Like, we still have River Sneak to worry about, but the Quartermaster can at least trade, and it's also going to draw us a card. So, yeah. I think I'm down with that. Probably should just get the Pirate's Cutlass, since it will equip for free. There is Sleek Schooner, which isn't the worst here, because we can crew it with our very small creatures and be able to block effectively. I think I'll get the Cutlass, though. But yeah, in these leagues, sometimes you just run into some insane decks, and that just won't happen in a pod, obviously. There won't be multiple insane decks available, but in a draft, it's possible. Of course. The good news about Jungle Delver is we can bounce it after they put a bunch of counters on it. The bad news is River Sneak can still, like, wreck us. So I am trying to decide if I'm going to want to play One with the Wind on Daring Saboteur. I think I probably will. Then Looting will be pretty good. So we go to 6 here. Okay, we have 2 Run of Grounds. I wish I had 1 more mana so I could play One with the Wind and play one of those. Now, if I hit a land off of it, the problem is if I attack here and don't play anything or leave mana up for Run of Ground, am I just dead? 1, 2, 3. No. Not quite. Not quite. Yeah, okay. Let's play One with the Wind on Daring Saboteur. See if we get to do that. And we'll probably play the Cutlass in our second main phase and equip it to the tracker so that it can also trade with something. That's the plan anyway. So we get them for 4. If we hit a land, I'll be really happy. We do hit a land. It's going to be so obvious when I discard Run of Ground that I have another Run of Ground. But we're going to. I think having run aground is important here if we're going to have any chance of winning this race. Oh, they might have something to just wreck me. Oh no, just that. We're not worried about that. In fact, if our opponent lets us just block this with our Quartermaster, we'll be pretty happy because we can then just put it back on top of their library. And they'll have to pay mana to keep their Delver alive. They might not want to pay the mana, though. This deck has underachieved pretty hard across our first 4 games, I think. I thought this was going to be a much sweeter deck. I think what we really want to see is our turn 2 2/1 Menace guy to really get there, which obviously isn't a good thing if your deck is like that reliant upon getting a specific card. Okay. Are you going to bring the Thunder? I'm guessing you're going to bring it. Not the River Sneak? Okay. I was going to say, that's weird. Okay, so what should we do here? I think blocking the Delver is our best thing. And then Deadeye Tracker will chump something. Unfortunately, it's never going to get to do what it's meant to do. But yeah, we'll block here, and we'll chump this, and we take 4 right now. But we're probably going to cast... If my opponent doesn't pump this, we probably cast Run Aground on one of these. If they do pump it, we bounce the Jungle Delver. If they play a pump spell to pump their guys, we also use Run Aground on what, you know, if they can kill us, obviously we want to use Run Aground on that. But we are sort of basically dead at this point. There's not a lot of things we can do here to help us. Okay, well, could be worse. So we're going to go Run Aground. We live for another turn. Our opponent most likely knew we had another Run Aground given that we discarded one. This is going to die now. That's the plus side here. But we have too many creatures coming at us. We have to draw. I don't think there's anything we can draw. No, an island certainly is not it. Yeah, that did not go so well. Try again. Yeah, I mean, do we want to rest? I don't think so. Don't think we want that either. There's not really much in our sideboard. I wish I could run this without destroying my mana base, but that seems unlikely. Yeah, not that either. I think this is just what we have to go with. But yeah, the Merfolk deck is just when it's there, it really gets there. Our opponent actually didn't play that many Merfolk synergies, but you know, they ran us over basically. The one with the wind plus the hexproof guy is it's just savage. I mean, and we dealt with it okay, but we did not deal with it that well. I would like to play first. Where is our Menace Pirate, and why do we end up with so many hands that have all islands and no swamps, or vice versa? All right, this one's better. Still not great, but I'll take it. I mean, that's the kind of thing that can actually just win you the game if your opponent can't stop you, and I think we kind of have to try to spike that if we want to have a hope here. So I think like turn 1... Deadeye Tracker. Maybe it's better to do Heartstopper. That gets it up to 4 toughness. Yeah, let's do Heartstopper instead. We're going to try to just play, you know, make this fly as quickly as possible and try to just run our opponent over in the sky. Obviously, if he kills this, we're in a lot of trouble, but if he doesn't, it's going to kill him relatively quickly. I think getting to 4 toughness is worth it. Getting to 4 power would have been even better, but, you know, the Deadeye Tracker only would have been a 3/3, so this having Death Touch and being a 3/4 actually gets to be pretty good too if our opponent finds a way to make us stop attacking with it. You know, a 3/4 Death Touch is far better than a 1/2 Death Touch. I mean, it can block lots of things and kill them. I mean, it could have always killed them, but it can actually survive sometimes now is what I mean. That Quartermaster is going to be nice. Fetches some more equipment for this Skittering Heartstopper monster. So we're just going to play Deadeye Tracker. We didn't do anything with last game, sadly. We never got enough cards in our opponent's graveyard. So yeah, we really want a 4th land now. We want to be able to play our Quartermaster. Search up one of our equipment, I think. The vehicle wouldn't be terrible depending on how slow our opponent's starting. Okay, yeah, they're having to play a Vine Shaper Mystic with nothing else to put the counters on, and I feel pretty happy about that. I feel very happy about that. Okay, good. We did hit the land, and we're going to attack with the Heartstopper. Is the vehicle better right now? I mean, it can attack through a Vine Shaper Mystic. That's something. We're definitely playing the Quartermaster. We just need to decide what we want to do. So we can attack through the Mystic with Sleek Schooner. We can also play Dowsing Dagger and equip it to this for 4 mana. This costs 3 and 2 if I'm not equipping it to a pirate. I think we may just go for the dagger and go for it that way. Yeah, let's take the dagger. We don't care if they get plants at this point. We're just trying to kill them in the air. We have run aground. Oh, there's their one, run aground. Okay, well, so much for that plan, huh? Yeah, well, we tried. I mean, I think we play the dagger here, and we equip it. To the Deadeye Quartermaster, and we just attack with it. Definitely in much better shape than we were last game. I'm sure they block with a plant. Yes, they do. Wish that went to their graveyard. My Deadeye Trackers wants to track something here. It's interesting they ran aground when they did, because if they'd waited for me to play this and equip it, it would have been way better for them, because then I wouldn't have even been able to equip it to anything, and I would just have 2 small creatures in play. We can transform this, but honestly, I don't think we really want to right now. I don't think there's a good reason to do that. There's the Jade Guardian. Which I am not happy to see. Putting the counter on itself. That works for me. They're probably about to play their own one with the wind, which isn't awesome for us. All right, so we're going to attack with our 4/3 again. If they want to trade Jade Guardian for it, we are cool with that. It'll let us explore, which is nice. Yeah, I figured, why would they trade when they can just chump with a plant that I gave them for free, you know? And it doesn't stock their graveyard or anything. So, but we are going to play, I think I'm just going to play 1 Heartstopper. Having a mana up for Death Touch just in case seems good. Our opponent's almost definitely about to give this stupid thing flying, though. Freaking hexproof. What's funny is I've drafted multiple decks where I had both of these cards and I'd never actually got to pull it off. I've had it done to me, obviously. But I've never gotten to put one with the wind on this thing. I just put it on Skittering Heartstopper, so... So they're out of plants, which is good. We can... If we manage to kill something in this combat, we can use this, which is also good. help us dig to whatever. Okay, that thing is gross. That much is true. Although I can't actually explore this turn because I don't have the mana to make this gain Death Touch and to explore. I'm just going to take 2, honestly. I'm okay with taking 2, and I don't really feel the desperate need to kill that thing. Okay, well now we have more black mana, which is good news. We're just going to play Heartstopper. I guess we're good with attacking, actually. Probably should have done that first. Because if we trade for either of these, we feel like we came out ahead. The bad news is he could have the boon. But even if he does, it's whatever. You know. I'm okay with a trade. They probably have River Herald's boon. I can't imagine they don't, and they're blocking like that. Oh, maybe not. So we can explore now. That's nice. I think I'm going to stick the Dowsing Dagger on one of these guys. So that, yeah, I mean, why not? And we'll end our turn. I now don't have to give the Heartstopper Death Touch if I don't want to, which means I can explore at the end of their turn. Just feels like not having enough creatures in your deck in this format is just, it's dangerous. Wow, that's annoying. The good news is if they pay like 1 billion mana to do it, we can run aground whatever they, yeah, whatever they do. Okay, so we're going to get to explore. Would not mind him getting bigger right now, obviously. And he will. Do I want that? Not really. I'm going to put that in my graveyard. I mean, it would have been better than a land, sure, but not a whole lot better. Okay. So I think we play this land, and we're going to actually equip this now to him, because now he's actually a 4/3, and we'll end our turn. Just got to find a way to get in for 11 more damage, that's all. That's not difficult, right? Don't have a bounce spell. Oh, they're probably just putting a counter on one of them, yeah. That is what they're doing. Yeah, this card is pretty gross. I've actually never seen it in a draft, playing against it or playing with it. So we'll see whether or not it's as gross as I was thinking it was. I was thinking it's one of the best rares in the format, and I think that's true. Although this format has proven to be fast most of the time, this game notwithstanding. And in a faster game, it's not nearly as good. So I wish I had more stuff to exile, but I just don't. Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to hold on to that. So our opponent's just going to keep making dudes over there, so that's not great for us in the long run. We do not want dudes to continue to be made. They may just keep making this bigger, which is way better for us because of run aground. So if that's what they're going to do, I am all for it. You can also still just trade with it with a 1/2 because we have Death Touch, so that's worth keeping in mind. They may want to be giving it Trample, which, again, we can use Run Aground to get around that. I'm trying to think what we can draw to help us win here. We don't have a ton of flyers, but we do have Skymarch Bloodletter, which would be nice. Okay. All right. Those guys are both rumbling, huh? I think I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to block this and see what we can make happen here. Looks like we're just going to kill a forest. But hey, that gets us one card closer to having something to explore with. But yeah, this deck just doesn't, you know, I feel it kind of felt like it was underachieving, but the fact that it's done this so many games makes me feel like just having 14 creatures in this format isn't good enough, basically. We've just been outgunned. I mean, our opponents have also had crazy rares, to be fair. And ours are serviceable and fun, but certainly not crazy. Well, that is a creature. And it lets me get in for 5, and then I take a bunch on the backswing. Interesting. Yeah, I think we play it. Yeah, we take a ton on the backswing, so I don't think I actually swing. I think I just play this as a creature. We can't really afford to attack. I could move Dowsing Dagger to this. This would still be a 2/2, and then this would be a 4/4, which can block much more effectively right now. So I think I am going to move it and leave 1 black mana up. See if our opponent lets us do that. I mean, we could have flipped that, but it's definitely not worth it at this point. We'd have to attack with something to flip it, for one thing, and I don't really want to do that. So he's going to make a huge creature this time. This game, we're going to make this game go on a while, even if we're not going to win it. But we're going to make it go on a while thanks to Run Aground and Skittering Heartstopper and stuff like that. Yeah, that is a huge land. 5/5 land, to be precise. I believe in us. Sort of. I've been talking bad about my deck, actually. It has good stuff in it, but oh god, that really creates a problem. Something of a problem, anyway. Yeah, that one's a 3/5 now. That's fun. I can still block it, but yeah, I don't think you want to attack with that Dagger Tooth. Probably attack with the land. You have a billion of them, and you can keep making a new creature every turn. Although it's not going to be a very big one this time. Okay, Emperor's Vanguard. Doesn't want to attack with that either. I am a-okay with that. That's going to be good for us too. All right, we're just going to pass the turn here. We just have a ton of bounce in our hand, which is pretty good against the Weaver, the Waker, whatever it is. It's good against it. And yeah, I mean, I say we have a ton of bounce. We have 2 bounce spells. That is a ton, I feel like. This time he's spreading the wealth a little. The big problem I think our deck has, like, we took that Cutlass over an Air Elemental, but Air Elemental is exactly what we would want right now. Like, a big creature that can just kill our opponent in the air. I just don't feel like we have a top curve threat. I mean, we have Prosperous Pirates, and I think that is sort of our problem. Okay, yeah, do that now. I'm cool with that. You don't want to attack with your 5/5? You sure? Okay. All right. Well, let's get to blocking. I'm going to declare, well, I'm going to block these places. I'm probably not going to let this thing happen because I'm going to bounce that, potentially. We'll see what our opponent does, though. We can obviously cast both of our bounce spells, though, if we really want to. And that may be what we want to do. We can't actually cast both if we give this Death Touch, though, so let's see what they do. Okay. Well, see, that's smart of them because they're going to get to put more counters places. So we're going to do Depths of Desire here. which now means once this goes to the graveyard, we can actually use this to explore, but that's a little dangerous because if I don't make it a 3/3, then I'm kind of boned in that exchange, so it's probably not what I do. I think we just give this Death Touch, and then we bounce the other thing. So these guys survive. This will die, but it's taking a land with it. We are in top deck mode, though. We did draw another run aground, so I'm cool with that. Yeah, we're just going to pass the turn again. I don't really feel like we can afford to attack. I mean, we don't have great attacks anyway. Our deck either, you know, the problem with it is it has a lot of bounce and control type stuff, but it doesn't have a long game like a control deck should. And we have sort of an aggressive curve, but then we don't have enough creatures. And I think that our deck's sort of in a weird place that you don't really want your decks to end up in. That guy's back. All right, well, that's good with me. We're gonna do some exploring. Oh yes, that's exactly what we want. We've been asking for a flyer. That's like the only one we have. So we're gonna put it back on top. Our guys, this guy's a 3/3 now. And we're gonna play Skymarch Bloodletter, which will drop our opponent to 10. Give us a 2/2. And take us up to 14 too, which isn't irrelevant. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Problem is we really don't want this to hit us, and we don't have a great block for it. It may be worth bouncing it again and just taking 5 to the face here. Yeah, we needed a long game plan, and we just didn't end up with one. Oh, I can move Dowsing Dagger to this, which will put our opponent on a quicker clock, but doesn't feel great. I'm just gonna take this. Go to 9. We don't want to flip it, certainly. Okay, Wayfinder. Our opponent's just going way too wide for us, given our situation. Okay, another creature is welcome. I don't really feel like I can move the equipment right now. I'm thinking about attacking, though. They're going to make another creature, though. Yeah, I don't really think I can. I think we are in trouble. The other thing is, like, yeah, we have some control stuff. So we're basically a bad control deck combined with a bad aggro deck, because we don't actually have any kill spells. We don't have contract killing, which is what you really want. We just have, like, random bounce spells, which are fine. I mean, they're the reason we're alive right now, but, you know, doesn't feel like anything special. Okay, so what do we do here? Opponent's hand's empty, so that is encouraging for blocking. We don't have to be worried about tricks or anything like that. I think maybe we block with this Tempest Caller here. We probably trade here. Do we trade with this? Actually, that might just be better to trade. It's just better to trade with that. We'll trade with that, and do we take... We're not going to take 7 because I'm going to bounce this. Yeah, I think that works. They can make this land bigger, but again, we can use run aground on it, so... Surely our opponent knows that the only reason we would take that is because they can bounce, you know, they're going to tap all their lands, which is good for us because otherwise they would have been able to put stuff on it at the end of our turn, and now they're not going to be able to. So that land goes away. They lose that creature. We kill this. We kill that, which is going to give us some fuel for our friend Deadeye Tracker here, who actually will be quite large with Dowsing Dagger. We do not want to draw a land here, though, and we didn't. So we actually drew another large-ish creature. So Prosperous Pirates it is. We are drawing this game out. That's about all we're doing. Yeah, I think we equip Dowsing Dagger. So do I attack now? Probably not. But we're going to equip Dowsing Dagger to this. He's a very good blocker now. And we'll end the turn. We can use these to explore at the end of our opponent's turn with our Deadeye Tracker, which is what we'll do. They're going to draw land, so we know that. So we don't really need to be that worried about what they might get into play. I guess attacking for 2 there probably would have been worth it, now that I think about it. They still did make a creature, though, actually, so this can still attack and be, like, way too big. So that's not good. Yeah, they're going to make that land huge. It's an 8/8. Do I double block it? I think the answer is no. I think we got to block with that Bloodletter, sadly. Sadly enough, these other 2 creatures are going to have more use for us late here. We don't really want to give up in exploring. Okay, we hit a land, which is not what I wanted to do. Oh, we used those treasures. Are we just dead now? Because we got to block it. Yeah, we're just dead now. Well, you know, I still feel like this underachieved a little bit, but I did give you sort of a critique of the deck. I think we played not enough creatures and not enough kill spells and not enough strong win conditions, and that's what led to us having a pretty subpar showing here. We could sort of put up a fight like we did in this game, but we're never going to draw anything that can get us out of this situation because we don't have a kill spell for something like this, and we don't have our own big creature that can push us to a win. So that is my analysis of what happened here. So hopefully the next draft goes a little bit better. Actually, I think the next video will actually be me doing sealed, so hopefully that goes well. Don't forget my content sponsored by 5colorcombo.com. You can use a discount code NITZAHONE5 for a 5% discount in their store.